this is something that's come up for me personally recently. And the question is, would using the new tick chart option on TradingView professional plans help to prevent repainting in my strategies? I don't know if you guys have had a chance to test out the tick chart data on TradingView. Have you got your hands into it?
I played with it a little bit, but this doesn't really change the nature of repainting at all. The repainting occurs on the strategy rules themselves. It's not necessarily how the data comes in. The tick chart data is essentially the same thing as temporal data, where as time comes in, we're rolling up all the ticks that occurred within that particular block of time and then giving you the open, high, low, and close. It's the same thing on a tick chart, but the difference is you're locked into a certain number of ticks. The repainting occurs based on the rules of the strategy, depending on how it looks back at data or refreshes the look back history. Things like what's the like zigzags, indicators like zigzags are a good example of this, or even Heikin-Ashi charts, which constantly refresh based off of current data. So I don't think changing the format of the chart is going to change the nature of how repainting works. Tom, do you hear that as well?
Well, what I'm wondering, and this is what I just started testing, like literally, it's been like a day since I got my hands into it. And the idea I'm trying to tackle here is that I want the back testing to more accurately reflect what actually happened at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the because on the back testing, the candles are just a snapshot of what happened. So maybe there might be 2 3 snapshots in a particular candle. I'm not getting how the price actually flowed in that candle, how something might have triggered if I'm not waiting for the bar to close. And so my idea here is to modify a strategy script to run it on a tick chart, but pull information from a higher time frame and see if the backtest in there actually matches up with the signals that were actually sent.
Hmm.
Because I'll have situations sometimes where, I mean, often we get messages like that even where an alert will fire, but nothing shows up on the chart for that candle. And so I want to get those, since I have logs of those alerts. I want to see, do those alerts now show up on the tick chart? And I suspect that they will, because I'm getting all the data. The limitation is that uh, if I'm on the one tick chart, I have to. There's a limit of how far I can go back, and they don't have tick chart data for every chart. And so, I've been running it on an asset on an exchange that they don't have the tick chart for, tick data for. So I'm going to test it on whatever Binance and see how it works there. But the big complaint that I saw in Reddit and on Twitter was that people were saying, well, if you had tick chart data, this would solve the problem because you're just simulating what happened on a candle. But if we actually had what happened on the candle, then that might fix it. But we'll see.
But the candles still close even with the tick chart data, and depending on the nature of your indicator, I'm thinking of things like like an Elliott wave indicator or something like that. This still has to wait for a certain number of bars to occur before it goes back and refreshes where the low was in the historical data. So like the easiest way to tell if an indicator or strategy is repainting is to use the bar replay tool. If the indicator fires at one point in the replay process, but then the signal disappears, that's how you know it's repainting. And I still think that would occur even on tick charts. It's not the availability of data that makes a difference. It's just the way the strategy or indicator works.
But we wouldn't then see that marker of that of the alert or whatever the trade that happened on the tick chart. I know
You,
on the normal one it would disappear, but on the tick chart then it should still stay. No.
well, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the nature of the logic of the strategy or
Yes.
indicator.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying my argument is saying it's not really based on whether it's a tick chart or a temporal chart. It's still the indicator itself that causes repainting.
That's right. Okay. We'll see. Um, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the idea of the tick chart because it's I guess I never really understood how different the tick chart behaves, like how it looks and how it feels and what kind of trades you might do versus the temporal charts. But it's been pretty interesting. Like I said, I've been diving my dipping my toe into the prop firm trading thing,
Yeah.
and you'll be happy to know that I haven't blown out my account because
Hey. All right.
I'm paying very close attention, and it's you know Why lose the account when I don't have to? I could just be crazy in my other accounts. I don't need to do it over there in prop firm.
It's interesting that you're saying that, because that was kind of my main lesson from joining the Quantopian competitions. It forced me to think more about risk. It forced me to think more about the performance of my strategy in a way that was beneficial to my performance. So I think you're echoing some of the same findings that I had there.